Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Moses Wisdom here on Top TV News Reel. In the headlines today, we have Daystar University to start solarization project at main campus in a move towards clean and green energy. We take a closer look at the role of education in bringing up rounded, sound-minded and morally upright individuals in society. The struggle for corporate sustainability during and post COVID-19 lockdown. And the news in detail. Daystar University, the main campus that is located in Athi River, which is quite a hot and arid area, has set out on a project that has been termed the solarization project, where they will be installing solar all over the campus. Here is the news in detail from our reporter on the ground.
Following a top management meeting early this week, it was confirmed by reliable sources that the next move for the Vice-Chancellor of Daystar University is to tap into the scorching sun of Athi River and use it for good. When life gives you lemons, you either cower and cry or you make lemonade out of it. And the former Sunshine head teacher chose the latter. This will mark another achievement for the Vice-Chancellor should everything go according to plan. The university plans to install huge solar panels on the campus so as to harvest energy from the ever-present sun in Athi River. The energy harvested shall be used to supplement the use of hydroelectricity on the campus and ultimately lower the expenses on electricity, which is a staggering average of about 1 million Kenya shillings per month. If everything goes according to the plan, then Daystar University will have one of the lowest expenditure in its history since bills for water and electricity have been some of the most exorbitant fixed costs.
I personally think solarization project is essential to the school. This because considering where Daystar is situated at, it's an arid area with a lot of sun exposure.
However, with water no longer a problem ever since the installation of a sink borehole, and now electricity costs to be cut greatly by solar installation, expenses are indeed to fall steeply.
It is a good project simply because it's going to help the finances of Daystar University, especially in this time that we're facing a pandemic, and also for future projects. Athi River is it's a very dry place, and it has solar. In short, it has sun for a very long time.
As such, you may use the sun to heat our water for the bathrooms, use the sun to power a lot of the things that you're using, and life as a whole will be cheaper.
And also for students who live in the hostels, in terms of getting power and getting water that is hot water system.
Also, it's my wish that because we'll be having a different power output, it may lower our fees.
Solar is expensive to set up, but once it is done, it is quite the deal breaker. And when you have the assurance of the sun throughout the biggest parts of the year, it indeed is the way to go. Reporting for Top TV, I am Nyokabi Nganga.
Hello, Nyokabi. Thank you so much for joining me here on Top TV News Reel. Question down there, how is it? What do you think the solarization project of the main campus at Daystar University is a good move in your own opinion?
Indeed, it is a good move. This is because it will help the university financially wise and also environmentally wise. To start with, financially wise in the sense that it will help the institution to cut down costs and apportion the money that they use to a better part on hydroelectricity onto other things. And environmentally wise, the institution will be assisted to shift to cleaner energy, which is important not only for them as students, as staff members, or rather as human beings, but also important for other creation. So indeed, yes, it is a good move.
So what is the general feel down there on campus concerning this project, even though it was only mentioned in passing by the DVC FAP during the strategic plan launch? There was not much mention of it actually. So what is the general feel? Are there students who are aware of it?
Moses, it's true that most people, and when I say most people, it's both students and staff, have not been acquainted with information concerning this particular project as compared to other projects that have been embraced by the strategic plan. But from my interactions with various students and also staff members, people were receptive of this new move because it will map the university on high charts, and it will, give the university a good image where matter sustainability is concerned in higher institutions of higher learning. So definitely it's something that has received a good reception among students and staff. But at the same time, there are people who have the thought that the university should take measures to see to it that this particular project does not only benefit us but benefits other creation, monkeys to be precise, because they're a part of the wildlife realm, and it is important for people to be creation stewards in as much they want to advance in projects that benefit them as individuals and as a society.
Thank you very much, Nyokabi. That is a very beautiful and good report. Up next, we have a conversation with an expert on the topic. He is none other than the president of the Environmental Sustainability Club at Daystar University. Hello, sir. Would you please introduce yourself in a way that is worthy?
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Wawero Chris Abraham. I'm currently the president of Daystar Environmental Sustainability Club. I've been at the club for 2 years and I'm happy to be there.
The solarization project of the main campus, as president of the Environmental Sustainability Club, what are your thoughts on the move?
Oh, that's such an amazing project, if I may say, and I'm really happy that the administration has worked with us from step 1 to the final lab, and that means for us it's one step towards sustainability, and that's another step towards us reducing carbon emissions, and that's actually one of our major targets, so we're very excited about that.
What are some of the possible pros or cons that you could project maybe for us so that we can come to an understanding of what exactly it is?
What the Clean Energy Project is going to do for the South River is it's going to reduce our energy cost by 65%. And that will go a long way in the university saving money for other projects, and also for the university making sure we have unlimited access to energy, which does not pollute the environment. Yeah, so in Athi River, one of the biggest challenges is hot water at the hostels, and this is because the water there is very salty and we use instant water heaters. So they tend to spoil every now and then. So what the Clean Energy is going to do, because it has solar water heating, is students are going to enjoy hot water at any time of the day. That's one. Number two, they're going to enjoy unlimited electricity any time of the day, and that's going to also give the university a kind of a budget that they used to pay KPLC to be able to do other projects. So this is going to be very positive in that if we want to launch another project that's associated with solar, we are at least going to have the funds to do that.
Thank you so much for joining us, Avram, here at Top TV News Reel. In the next story that we have lined up for you today, we take a closer look at the role of education in bringing up rounded, sound-minded and morally upright individuals in society. Now, we are at a point in society and existence of humanity where we are seeing crime rates increase, brutality increase, fights between genders increase, and you wonder, this education that we spend so much time and resource on, what is its position in making our society a better place?
The education of masses, though necessary, must be taken with caution lest there be quantity without quality.
My name is Julius, and I think the question is very relative because we have many determinants that can determine the same how people grow morally and everything. But the main thing is that education is very key and it is a very key aspect in everything.
This is the solution that the new systems offer: quality. It has been mentioned that new problems require new solutions. However, even the same old problems that our country is facing just might be solved by a change in approach.
We learn and we're educated about critical thinking and creativity. Through this creativity and ingenuity, this is where now we can be able to make sound and independent decisions in the society. This differentiates us and the other people who have not gone through a schooling system, because you're able to do your things logically, not being entangled to the emotions.
Instead of applying quick fixes that white-collar jobs offer, the new system aims at killing the spider altogether with the problem-based approach.
We can say that environment is a determinant also in many issues, because there is operant conditioning where most of us learn through, and also classical conditioning. But then I would say that education is very critical, because even as we learn, even as we get many degrees, many diplomas, many master's degrees, it is very imperative to understand that, because they say education is the key to success, then having all these things, it means that you have many keys to your success.
The education of one mind can be the transformation of an entire nation. Education has been around for as long as we can remember. Only the shapes and forms of it have been changing. With an unintentional training schemes for thinkers, problem solvers, and emotionally intelligent individuals, one can say that our society is headed in the right direction. And at the driving point of this movement is education. Once again, education just might be the key. Reporting for Top TV, my name is Monica Gitau.
And that's what we had from our able reporter. We move on to an interview, a very interesting conversation with an expert on the topic.
Thank you, Moses. My name is Mary Gidiomi. I live in Gong. I don't know if that is important. I work for an international Christian organization where we have Christian values in everything that we do. I'm currently the team leader, leading about 25 staff with about over 10 volunteers. We basically deal with the community work, just helping the communities to be able to get water, to get basic needs like education. We also train communities on how to properly manage themselves. And whenever there is crisis like floods or drought, depending on the budgets, we usually intervene.
You said something about basic needs. Would you therefore cluster education among the basic needs that we have today?
Thank you. I think the basic, of course, being basic needs being water, shelter, and food. I think the world that we live in, education is vital. One, because we've seen the world being a global village. And there is no way that one can survive unless you get educated. So to me, right from the basic education to the highest that one can ever be is very vital, because for anyone to survive in this world, you need to be educated. I know there are some communities in Kenya, especially in the yesteryears, where some did not consider education as important. And whenever they considered, they thought, well, only the boys need to be educated. So today we realize that unless you educate the boys and the girls, then you'd probably lose a whole generation. So education is vital. The other thing that, since we live in a global village, for anyone to thrive out there in whichever way, whether it is business or being employed in whichever way, one needs education. When it comes to the moral value of a child, education is also vital, because unless we educate them that moral values are right, then the child will not grow knowing what is right and that what is wrong. So yes, education is very vital in each and every stage.
Interesting that you should actually mention Christianity. You said you work at a Christian organization. Is there a place where education and Christianity actually merge? Do they have a connection?
I'm reminded of some of the people that walked around with Jesus. Somebody like Luke, we call him Dr. Luke. There is no way he could have been a doctor if he was not educated. I look at people like Daniel. The Bible says that they had wisdom, he was intelligent, and he was educated. So Christianity has, education has a place in Christianity and vice versa, because I do not think at one point God wants to deal with foolish people. So going to school is important. And it is in school that even for us Christian that we get to understand what is happening in the world, and also to get to understand even the Bible itself. I have met some old people who really wish they got educated for two things. In fact, the people that have seen what we call Gubaro in Kenya, which is adult education, the few, okay, I've met quite many that have gone to go to school while they are old. They say they are going to school because of two things. Number one, to read the Bible for themselves, and number two, to count money. Because even in Christianity, it is important because, I mean, Christians live in this world and we need to get to know what is happening. So yes, there is a great connection. And even the people that God dealt with, I mean, if you talk of people like Isaiah, if you talk of people like Jeremiah, these people are educated. And we are told of, is it sons of Sceva? I think I am missing, sons of Issachar. The Bible says they had the spirit and they were able to discern the times and the seasons. Those guys were educated. So for sure, there is a place for education in Christianity, and the connection cannot be divorced.
Now, recently we have seen a shift in the approach to education. CBC for lower classes and other lower institutions of learning, and amongst the higher institutions of learning, we have seen the problem-solving best approach of learning. Is this a good move in your own opinion and assessment?
Thank you. I think it's a very valid question. Personally, I was among the first team or the first group that 844 was being tested on. And I would like to say that the idea behind 844 was very good. And actually it was supposed to be competency and problem solving education curriculum. That was the full idea, the whole idea from the word go. And I remember when it began on the right footing. And I remember we were taught basic skills. I think somewhere along the way, it got distorted because either people misunderstood or they changed the focus, or some people somewhere did not understand. But the people who had begun 844 actually had the right mind, and it was supposed to be competency based. Well, for the new curriculum, I support it 100%. And unless something changes on the way, I think it's a good curriculum. And it is meant for good, especially for the idea is good for the children of this country. So unless something changes somewhere along the way, it should be a very good one. But I think when it comes to the leadership, maybe when it comes to the government need to make sure that the whole idea of CBC it's given to the next generation, Because what I think, when we were given as the first, like now grade 4 is the first group that is being tested on CBC. I was among the first team that was tested on 844, and it was the best curriculum ever. So the CBC one is very good, but maybe along the way, if somebody does not follow the full objective up to the end, then it gets distorted somewhere along the way, and people change the objective, they change the focus, and they distort the whole thing. So it's a good one if it is followed. That's what I would say.
Thank you very much for joining us. As we wrap it up, do you have any parting shot, anything you'd like to leave with us?
So thank you very much. For me, education is key, and nothing else should replace education. Finally, the issue of the children with special needs is something that we keep on forgetting. I know that the government has done a lot of effort, but still a lot need to be done so that children with special needs will be considered in our curriculum, just like any other normal child.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. This is Top TV Newsreel. When we come back shortly after the break, we will be looking at our final story of the night.
Shushu, wamesema hakuna harusi.
Kwa nini? Hapana, haiwezekani. Mamisha harusi lazima itaendelea. Nani anasimamisha harusi?
Sasa tunaweza kustream hii wedo.
Hi Shushu.
You make is the bride.
Get 500 MB free.
Thank you so much for joining us again here at Top TV News Reel. My name is Moses Wisdom Tibaje. Be sure to follow up with the conversation on our different social media platforms and let us know what you think. We shall be reading your comments real soon here live on Top TV. Thank you so much for everyone that's joined us both locally and internationally. Now for our third and final story, the struggle for corporate sustainability during and past COVID-19 lockdown. We are in phase 2 of lockdown. It seems like a bit of last year replaying itself right again this year. But we then wonder, what has this had as an effect upon the different corporate institutions? And we take a special look into Daystar University. Special report coming up.
For any organization to maintain a good rapport with its stakeholders, there has to be a strategic and organized way of doing things and a way that trust is maintained. This is the art of corporate sustainability. Corporate sustainability covers 4 major areas: corporate social responsibility, the stakeholder, corporate accountability, and sustainable development. Daystar University, like many other institutions, has been affected by the global pandemic, yet the school was able to launch a new strategic plan among others. Some of the items launched in direct benefit for the student shareholder is a new and refurbished gym. The new gym costs a good sum of money, but with the new equipment and the extra space, it is much better than the older gym. We take a closer look into what has enabled the institution to continue even when the times have been unpredictable.
The school has done quite well, but not well. Like in some areas, like we have the involvement, we have the Shine FM. The world, let's say Kenya does not know about Shine FM. They have not put it out all there, outside. Like Shine FM is only known to Daystar students. Involvement is known to Daystar. Like they should put it out there so that even those who are outside, they're not in Daystar, they may get attracted to all you have in school. You have a lot of resources, you have a lot of clubs and everything, but they are not put out all there. And again, the school should utilize the people who have graduated, like the fresh people, not using the kina Larimado, kina Mwakazi, and we have many students who have been here. So according to me, I think they have not done their best in the corporate management.
For any institution to thrive, there must be an organized and sustainable corporate system. Reporting for Top TV, I am Joy Gatukwi.
Yes, and joining me in studio right now is a PR official from Daystar University. Please, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Jean Murungi, and I work in Daystar University as Public Relations Officer.
Now, as Public Relations Officer, has Daystar University had any corporate social responsibility, also known as CSR activity or event in this past year?
In the last year, this past year has been a difficult year, actually, not only for Daystar but for the whole country. And within the past academic year, we have had students have been taking their classes. Most of the students have been taking their classes online, apart from this semester where we have just a few students in the doing practical courses on campus. And therefore, because of that, we've not really had social responsibility at all. I don't think so. But in the past, we have had that. We really do not have corporate social responsibility per se for the university, but we usually work with the other departments, and especially the student affairs and the students of Daystar University. When they have their activities, we team up with them in their corporate social responsibility. One of them that we work closely with is the Pillar of Hope, and here we give educational materials to schools, and some of the things that we have given are exercise books. We have given those folders that students use to do exams, yes, such. So we don't have a corporate social responsibility per se, but we work with other teams to do that.
Now, how has the PR department managed to maintain a good rapport between the different departments and the different stake and shareholders in Daystar University?
When COVID struck and many corporate organizations went home, including Daystar University, where both students and staff went home and people would work from home, one of the departments that really remained active was Corporate Affairs Department. We actually almost didn't go home. Some of us would work from home some days, but we were busy throughout. We were actually the most, active department. And the reason being, we needed to keep information going. We kept our audiences engaged. And as a student, I'm sure you would bear witness that you kept receiving communications from us. Those communications were coming from Corporate Affairs Department. So we communicated with the students. We communicated with the parents. We also communicated with the alumni. We communicated with the general public. We crafted messages for all those different stakeholders, specific messages for them. For the student, we needed to assure them that their studies will continue uninterrupted and to keep giving them information on how to go about doing their studies. So for the parents, we needed to assure them that their children will be okay, that they will not miss out on education. We gave information about school fees and all that. For alumni, we needed to tell them that we also care, that alumni are out there, and we would also give them information about what we are doing and also advising them, empathizing with them. So we actually kept our stakeholders involved.
Is there information let out to the public concerning how the university is faring, maybe? Because accountability is one of the ways that corporate sustainability is measured. Is there a way that the university lets information, maybe about finances, about plans? Is there a way these things are let out to the public and to the different share and stakeholders?
Not necessarily, but well, maybe I'm not the authority to say this, but I know the university has the auditors. We have both internal auditors, and we also have external auditors that come, that come to the university to audit the activities and of course the finances of the university, and that information is really available. About sharing it to the public, I wouldn't really commit to that information. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for joining me. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our news bulletin today. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Moses Wisdom Tibaje, and you are watching Top TV Newsreel.